everybody, this is the Wikstrand. So Delta Force Commando has absolutely nothing to do with either Delta Force, nor has it anything to do with Commando. This is a very forgotten 80s action movie that I'm going to bring some attention to now, because this is my review of Delta Force Commando. This American army base in Puerto Rico, where we have these Central American terrorists who are, attacking the base. They easily take out, the one guard who always gets killed, and they have their way with the terrible security they have on the base. And they get out of there with a nuclear bomb of some description. In the process, they also attack a lieutenant called Tony Turner, which is a stupid name. Anyway, Tony Turner's pregnant wife also gets killed by the bad guys, which makes Tony Turner a bit mad with them. It doesn't get any better the more times you say his name. Anyway, but Tony wants to, take revenge on them, but we have this pencil-pushing bureaucrat who comes from the authorities and says that we're monitoring this and we will, send you in to, retrieve these things if we deem it necessary. But he's telling his general, nah, we ain't too worried about this thing. And, the general says, but they have this, big weapon of mass destruction. What if they, detonate it down there in Nicaragua or whatever they are? But for some reason, our pencil-pushing bureaucrat doesn't seem too worried about that aspect of the whole thing. That will be important later. But Tony is sick of waiting for the go sign, so he steals a fighter jet and, just flies away to what I presume is Nicaragua in order to try to track these bad guys down and, get revenge and also get the weapon of mass destruction back. But on his tail, he has Captain Beck, played by Fred Williamson, aka Sex Machine from Dusk Till Dawn. Easily the best actor in this movie, which tells you a bit about the quality of the performances. But that is also a thing we will get to in a second. They crash, gets captured, but they escape again, and they team up a bit reluctantly, and together they will kill almost the entire Nicaraguan army without breaking a sweat, because apparently Nicaraguan soldiers couldn't hit the water if they fell off a boat. So this is essentially this movie, because they have slightly sketchy production value and they don't have a lot of good actors or good writing or anything like that. They try to compensate that fact by having huge explosions, lots of action sequences, a 3-digit body count, and some quite creative violence. But it can only compensate for so much, because after a while you do get a little tired of these mundane action sequences that just seem to go on and on and on, and nothing really interesting happens. And because the acting is horrible and the writing is bad and we have lackluster villains, there isn't that much to look forward to. There is an element of trashy entertainment in this, but it is not, so bad that it becomes hilariously awesome, like, a Death Stalker 2 or something like that. Now there is a movie I would like to make a review of, sometimes. It is an absolutely hilarious movie. It is so terrible that it actually becomes great in some weird way, but I'm getting sidetracked. Delta Force Commando is a very forgettable movie with some decent fight sequences, some okay action sequences. They just have a lot of it that will keep you occupied, so it's never boring. But thankfully it also clocks in at under 90 minutes, so it doesn't quite overstays its welcome. And it must be said that the ending to this movie is equal parts hilarious and equal parts stupid as hell. But I will say this, if they could have played around a little bit more with, the insane kind of sick humor that they were actually going for with that ending, they could have ended up with, quite a really good movie, especially if they could have had, better writing, and if they could have had, better actors like a, Mel Gibson or a Kurt Russell, or I could even throw in a Wesley Snipes into this thing in it probably could have worked, but now we have these knuckleheads to try to entertain us for 89 minutes, and it will only go so far. Delta Force Commando is a very forgettable 80s action movie. I've seen hundreds of 80s action movies that is better than this one. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, it's just quite lackluster, and it is nothing that you will ever see again once you've seen it once. But if you're a completionist like me who wants to see everything at least once, you can see it. There are worse movies out there, but this was not very good, was it? This is a barely okay 80s action movie with not a very huge budget, but lots of explosions, and it is at least a bit entertaining. I gave this movie 36 points. It's not a movie I really recommend or anything like that, but it's okay at least, and some bits of it are actually quite fun. But god damn it, do they have lackluster villains in this one. Jesus Christ, I thought that was a modern thing to do. So I'll see you next time for Well So and So reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.